Hello and welcome to I Am Geek, and this is episode 150. I'm Ryan, and I'm joined by my brother Chris and our good pal Katrin. And today we have a special guest. We have the Tiki drink god himself, if you want to call him that. Hal Bowers, welcome. Hal, how are you doing?
That was Aloha. I'm doing very well, thank you.
Well, thank you for coming on. Now, you have a channel on YouTube called Liquid Luau, and I have watched every episode, all three of them. And my wife is like, "Oh, this is so cool!" So it was fun to watch along with her. And you just make tiki drinks from Disney World, basically, on the show.
Yeah. So my whole thing is, I went out as a young man and I had terrible drinks. So many places I didn't understand alcohol or any of that stuff. And then I started getting into tiki cocktails. And I discovered, oh my gosh, like you can drink and have things that taste delicious. So it's like, this is all new to me. So I've spent the last 10, 15 years learning ingredients and how to make stuff at your home. And that's really, I want to share that with people within the community. Find out you can make, great tasting stuff at home. It's not overly difficult as long as you have, good ingredients and the right recipes. Like anybody can do it. And I'm starting with Disney cocktails because I'm in a couple of Disney groups. I'm in a group called Retro WDW, and we celebrate all things retro. So that kind of let me add that with the old Disney drinks with my love of tiki, and let's put something out together and especially since everybody's stuck at home, like it really gives everyone a chance to try something different. And I've been blown away by the results so far. People have made stuff that they love. So I'm so happy to see, folks be able to take this on and learn how to do it themselves. That's what really excites me about this.
Yeah, it's fun. I mean, the tiki culture all in itself is fun, and then add Disney on top of that, and it's just a blast. My wife and I, many moons ago, because we've been married for a long time, we had our honeymoon at the Polynesian. So that's one of our favorite places to go. And now they have Treasure Sam's, which makes it even more fun. So yeah, we love the Polynesian. We love I do miss the old school Polynesian, because when we went long ago, it was the lobby with the big, basically volcano of plants in the middle.
Nice.
But we love it now. We miss it. We want to get back. But today we are going to try to make a drink live here on the air. We're on YouTube Live. So for those listeners, you won't be able to see it, but you could go back and watch it on YouTube. But you can hear us pouring the drinks, I guess.
Yeah, it's going to be fun.
Yeah, it's also today is the 1-year anniversary of Galaxy's Edge. So we thought, what better thing to do than make a drink from Galaxy's Edge? Yes, if you're watching, Katrin has snuck into Oga's Cantina somehow. He's there. Chris is on his set, his kitchen set, where he films all of his kitchen videos.
I built this. This is all in my garage.
Oh,
like all this.
Wow.
These are fake cabinets. Everything's fake. Like it's. But yeah, I got all my Tiki collection glasses here. I even got like Spider-Man and Venom and little baby Groot.
So where's all your Star Wars glasses?
I got IGA.
That's a pop.
Yeah, ideal. Whatever. Yeah, I got a pop.
So I thought we can, start making the drink. We could talk in between different ingredients. I will say, I showed you guys earlier, but I'll show all the viewers. My wife was like all gung ho about this, and I was just going to bring bottles in and be like, "Hey, mix it up." She's like, "No, I went ahead and I poured it all out for you in containers." So I'm going to show you what she did. She brings in this tray with 5 baby bottles on it, and she said, "Look, it's perfect to mix with."
It is. You got the measurements on there and everything, right?
She even put it in order, so I know which is which. So
thank you, Jennifer.
Yeah, I didn't have the fancy drink mixer, so I have a one of these healthy living mixers.
I got one of these, which is apparently Ryan called it the Undertaker's urn.
Yeah, he's got the Undertaker's urn. I mean, that's what it looks like if you're a wrestling fan.
So yeah, I just
Paul Bearer.
Dump the ashes.
You dump the ashes out, and you're ready to pour drinks in it.
Ready to pour drinks. Yeah.
That's
Gross.
lovely. So how how many times have you been to Galaxy's Edge?
I have only been able to go one time, and
Ah.
I was actually not able to go into August.
Oh
so,
no!
Oh,
So I'm living vicariously through this.
Well,
yeah.
oh,
Even though I'm in Florida, I don't get off as often over to the Magic Kingdom and Disney. Well, I still call it Disney MGM because I'm super old.
Yeah.
I don't get to Disney's Hollywood Studios as often as a lot of people do. So I got to go one time, and only before Rise of the Resistance opened. So we are looking forward to going back with my entire family sometime in the fall, perhaps, depending on how everything shakes out, to be able to go and enjoy it, because it was just so packed here too. That's with little kids. It's like there was no way I could get everybody up and over there at like 6 a.m. in order to get a boarding pass. I was just, let's wait. So we're just gonna wait and hope things settle down at some point, and and then we'll go and enjoy it when we can enjoy it. But it looks spectacular for sure.
Yeah, you're in for a treat, especially Oga's. It's an amazing atmosphere. They really play it up. They have sing-alongs with DJ Rex. The bartenders all get into it and dance around, and it's sort of like a space tiki bar, if you want to call it that, because everybody's just having fun and getting into it.
Yeah. My kids are already addicted to two of the songs. They'll like ask for them on her phone like over and over again. So
that's cool.
Yeah,
that's cool.
We're ready. They are prepped to go.
Yeah, we're supposed to go back. Kate and I and our families are supposed to go in October, so we'll see how things are going by October. If we're gonna go.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah, fingers crossed. Because right now all of our reservations were canceled. So yeah, so we got to see if we can get back into Oga's, if they're even going to have Oga's open. Who knows? But enough of that. So why don't you explain what we're making and how we're going to do it, and then we'll just start having fun.
Follow along.
Sure. Yeah. All right. So today we're making the Cliff Dweller from Oga's. Now this is a porg themed drink. It is non-alcoholic, so this is good for kids and adults, everybody else. So it's 100% safe. And we have a couple of ingredients. So now what's kind of interesting for me, these are a lot of the same ingredients that you'll find in another drink called the Painkiller, which is the Tiki rum at Trader Sam's. So there is kind of some overlap with some famous tiki drinks here. So primarily it's orange juice, pineapple juice, and then the other big component that's used in those is this Coco Real, which is a cream of coconut. But this also has a little lime juice in it and some Seagram's ginger ale. And then the secret ingredient that I think makes this is this lush grenadine. Now, what makes the lush grenadine a little bit different from other grenadines is it has some hibiscus in it. So it gives it a little bit of a twist flavor. And I'll tell you, it really does make a difference in this drink. The way the flavors kind of intermingle together in a very subtle fashion is surprisingly good. And you can taste like a little bit of the ginger, a little bit of that hibiscus in it. So it's really, really well balanced. So they actually did a great job on this drink. It kind of blew me away when I finally made one. I'm like, oh yeah, this is...
Yeah, Chris got the correct grenadine. Katrin and I couldn't get it in time.
Okay.
So we have grenadine. It's just not the cool grenadine.
Flavor variation from the rest of us. So we'll have to see how big the impact is for you.
Yeah.
Good test.
Yeah.
Test. Yeah. We have a Bahama Breeze here in Memphis, and I get the Painkiller there, and that's my favorite. So that makes me really excited that that's what this is like. So
yeah, that's a really nice drink. That coconut, pineapple juice, or juice. It's a real nice, easy combination. Just tastes very light and summery. It's hard to dislike.
Yeah.
And I like that this is a good one that the whole family can enjoy together. So that's going to be
absolutely fun. Yeah, I like the fact that they have those drinks too, because I'm looking at taking my kids in there and having them be in a nice, safe environment where they can enjoy stuff too and really feel like they're part of it. that communal aspect, I think, is what sort of makes the tiki community, what it is too. Everybody's sharing and enjoying a good time, so it's nice that they're not excluded.
Yeah, they have a few good drinks. Cause I've had the I think it's the carbon freeze that they have there that's non alcoholic, and it's like got dry ice in the bottom of it, so it like bubbles up and stuff.
Oh.
That's a fun one. The kids love that one. It's got the boba balls in it, so it looks like they're dancing around in the drink. It's
Chris is not a fan of the boba balls.
I'm not a fan of the no.
I thought it was interesting that a lot of their I brought it here just to have a lot of their non-alcoholic drinks have Powerade in them.
Yeah,
I thought that was funny.
It is weird. That's one of those. I mean, I'm not going to knock it. I'm not going to knock them. Or I always find drinks that have like stuff like Sprite or Powerade. It's like, I don't know about that. Yeah. But until I try it, I'm not going to say no.
It tastes good. Right. So that Carbon Freeze, I think, has Powerade in it, and then the Java Juice is good, but it's more like what we're making today, I think.
Okay.
So I think that's the three big ones that they have there that's non-alcoholic. So I'm excited.
One of this, I think the challenges they have, certainly anybody has. Even as I do my show, I try to think what ingredients can people actually get on a national level, because that is a problem. Like what you can get at a store is often very regional, and as you get into the tiki cocktails deeper and deeper, there are a lot of very specific, very odd ingredients that you may need to find, like pimento liqueur, which is now known as allspice dram. It's like so it's not from olives; it's pimento like seeds from a plant called the pimento, which we now call allspice, which you can usually find ground allspice in grocery stores, but this. A lot of people end up making their own because it's almost impossible to find unless you live in like Chicago or New York or a big major city. So there's definitely an issue with trying to chase down a lot of these ingredients. So it's interesting, in Florida, it's like, well, we have a relationship with Coca-Cola, so let's use Powerade because we know we can get it. And we to the Gulf Coast, and it's got a unique flavor. So I really have to applaud them for rising to the challenge of how to deal with something, and especially making something different and interesting and Star Warsy. Yeah. Because otherwise you'd be using blue curacao to try to get a blue color or some other thing. So it's like, I think they neatly found a solution to that problem. Yeah. And you said, when you said interesting ingredients, I think they have, Oga's Cantina has one of the most interesting ones that I've ever seen. And I'm not big into the culture, but stuff that makes your lips numb and they're fuzzy tauntaun. And you told us that those were called buzz buttons. Is that what they're called? That's right. Right. And I think in Florida, there's, I guess, a farm that they use that they get them from. Oh, wow. In Central Florida. So I don't know if they ship those out to California from there, but apparently it's a very odd, interesting item that they were able to source. So, yeah, that's cool. When we were there, I asked them, I was like, so what is it that makes your lips numb? And they totally stayed in character and like, well, this is a special thing that Oga gets from off planet. And she doesn't like to talk about where she gets it from. So sorry, we can't divulge. Maybe he didn't know. Yeah.
Apparently she gets it from Florida.
And I'm like, that's right. I'm like, well, what if, you're allergic to it? And then also the process that they use to like make the bubbles is apparently kind of like a closely guarded secret. There are some people that have tried to reverse engineer that using like aquarium pumps and things. Oh wow! So yeah, there's definitely a whole art. Yeah.
They just take a straw and just blow into your glass.
Not anymore. Not with COVID.
Yeah. Well, there you go.
So how do we start the Cliff Dweller? What's our first step?
All right. So get the device that you're going to shake or mix in, and let's just start with the orange juice because that's easy. So got some Florida orange juice here, pulp free, which is the way I like it because pulp is gross in drinks.
Yeah. Yes.
I've pre-measured.
Yeah,
I got my orange juice right here in my baby bottle.
Yeah, you're all
I hope it's orange juice. Well, I would never know.
Hope you've been nice to your wife recently.
Yeah. I love that thing that you have there. The little measuring cup. that you have?
Yeah.
I was watching your videos. I'm like, that is perfect. I've got to get one of those.
These are great. This is from a company called Oxo, and I think it's part of their Good Grips line.
Yeah.
What's really nice, let's see if we can, I don't know if you'll be able to see this with the light in here, but there are markings inside of the cup that show you exactly like what level you're at. So, the big problem that I used to find when I was trying to pour stuff is like, in a regular glass, you have to look to the side and see how much is on there. Pouring, and then you're looking, and you're pouring, and you're looking. This, you just pour straight in, straight down. You can see exactly where you're at. It's marked with like 1/4 of an ounce, 1/2 of an ounce, a full ounce, ounce and a half. So it's really easy to do accurate pours. And that is another one of the keys to making a lot of drinks is doing very accurate by the numbers pours. There are some ingredients that, if you go over 1/4 of an ounce of orange juice, like it's not going to kill the drink. But there are certain other ingredients like Pernod, which is this anise flavored thing. Yeah. You put any more than like 1/8 of a teaspoon in, the drink is ruined. So, so even with, if you choose to use alcohol in any drink, it's like when you're first starting out, do follow those recipes. If it asks for 1/2 an ounce, put in 1/2 an ounce. The thought of like, if 1/2 an ounce is good, an ounce is going to be great. No, that can actually kill the flavor. So, so measure accurately.
Yeah, it is a science.
That's a big tip. There is a science to this. This is like alchemy.
Yeah. For sure.
So then we're going to do 3 ounces of pineapple juice. And I always like these little cans of pineapple juice because you can buy the big cans, but then if you don't use it all, it goes bad within a week. Where if you just buy the little can, you're good for a while. So
good to know because all I found was the big can. So
yeah, so
that's great.
If you get a big can, after we're done here today, take it and put it in a pitcher. So get it out of the tin and just put it in a covered pitcher and put that in your refrigerator, and that will make it last usually for about a week without getting any funky tin.
There you go.
There you go.
He's got it.
You already did it.
I already did it because I'm like, what am I doing with this? Now I've got to drink it.
So, all right. So everybody's caught up there. So next we'll do the lime juice. Now lime in most recipes is designed to cut the sweetness down. So that's usually why that's a component in there.
Interesting.
And we need an ounce of lime juice. So the trick is a normal size lime will usually result in about an ounce of lime juice. So sometimes you can go straight in there. If you want to be, accurate, you can squeeze it into the measuring cup and make sure. I have one of these fancy citrus squeezers, which is a really nice, fast way to do it. And the trick is, you would think, I used to think like an orange juice squeezer. You would put it up against this end and kind of push it in. But no, when you load a lime, load it with this up. So when this pushes down, it's just going to push the juice straight into the cup. So
rind up for those listening.
Rind up is the way to go.
Interesting.
I was watching one of your videos, and I was really I learned something new every day. I guess that the limes that are smooth have more juice in them than the limes that are a little bumpy.
Yes, that is true. So if you go to the store and you're buying limes, I'm going to get way up close here. So you notice there's kind of like a texture to it. What you're going to look for is the smoothest base possible on that lime. Because what happens is when it's filled with juice, it actually pushes out. So the texture is smooth. If there's not much juice in it, that allows it to be kind of wrinkled and bumpy. So I guess it's like a person's face. I don't know.
Yeah.
Get so much juice in
moisturize, or you can moisturize your limes. I don't know.
There you go.
You got an awful smooth face. You must have a lot of juice in your head.
Well, thank you for noticing.
Take our ounce of lime juice and pour it in. And then let's do the cream of coconut next. So
except for Chris.
You gotta shake this one up.
My cream of coconut didn't get here in time, so.
You're just supposed to pretend, Chris. Don't tell people.
Yeah. You can
Yes. Pour that in.
There you go.
Oh, it's in.
Coconut.
So cream of coconut really is made out of coconuts. It's coconut and some sugar, water, and stuff. But now there's two ways you can get this. One is this group company, Coco Real. There's another one that comes in a can called Coco Lopez. There you go.
Yeah.
Coco Lopez.
Oh.
They both taste really good. The can is sometimes a little difficult because especially if you've been hanging around and you open it up, it's like it's this weird congeal.
I experienced that, and on the can it says, if it's been sitting in a cool area, make sure that you put it in some water first, like put the can in warm water. So I did that after the fact, saw that after the fact. So I had a measuring cup and I put warm water in it and just set it down in there and took a whisk and kind of helped it, and it's perfect now. So
there you go. Yeah, you just got to either shake it or whisk it or do something to try to loosen it up. I tend to prefer this one only because it has a little squeezer on the bottom, so I can pop this open and squeeze it because I'm lazy. And B, I love things that are convenient, which is probably the same as being lazy. So, so I use this, but both of them are great. Whatever you can get in your local store, just fine. No worries. So we're gonna use an ounce of this. Like, whoa.
So is an ounce about 2 tablespoons? Is that?
Well, let's see.
That's what I read. That's what I'm hoping is right.
Sure.
Yeah.
Alexa,
we'll see.
how many tablespoons is an ounce?
1 fluid ounce is 2 tablespoons.
Yes.
Hey.
Great.
Hey.
Yay! Thanks, Alexa.
It's nice to have a droid around the house.
Yes.
Yeah.
This really is a Galaxy's Edge themed tiki.
That's right.
So
All right, so I'm going to put that in there. And this stuff is thick.
yes, it is.
So I say, if you have to, as long as you wash your hands, you can use your finger and knock it out. It's not really a tool that does a good job of doing that for you. All right. So that brings us down to our lush grenadine. And we're going to do 1/2 of an ounce of that.
So 1 tablespoon.
Now, grenadine is a really interesting thing. The formulation of grenadine has changed a ton over the years. And what our parents used to, and our grandparents used to have for grenadine is very different from what you get in the store today when you buy like a Rose's grenadine at the supermarket. Yeah. That's not real grenadine. That's just like sugar water and some coloring. Real grenadine, cherry, and a bunch of that's beautiful.
Look at
Ooh,
that.
pretty.
Yeah.
So if you can find a good quality grenadine in your store, that's really what you want to go for. So,
it's really cool how they separate, because you got the coconut on the bottom, because you can see through my glass. Coconut on the bottom, you got the grenadine, and then you have the juices floating to the top.
And that's the secret to some drinks like the Tequila Sunrise, where you can layer it properly.
Yeah.
You get kind of like a little show. So one thing that is interesting that we can start to talk about here is the color of drinks and what they're served in. Like a lot of tiki drinks are just kind of this weird medium brown color once you mix everything together, which is why I think some of them are served in, solid tiki mugs instead of glassware, because they're just attractive, like in a glass. Others have beautiful color, so those tend to be served in glasses. So the next time you get a drink, you can tell by the way it's served, perhaps, like whether it's attractive or not attractive. This one kind of comes out this weird brownish pink color, so I can see why they went with a nice pour.
Yeah, you can get it in a porg like tiki glass, right? I think this is the one.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, there's I can't remember the price off the top of my head, whether it's 35 or 42, but you get a really nice porg styled mug for it to go into.
Yeah,
which is really beautiful.
Yeah, they have a few there. They have one for their beer flight that's Rancor Tooth, and it's like $85 for a beer flight.
Yeah.
Like, good gracious.
Yeah, the mug thing. We used to, like 10, 15 years ago when I started collecting, like $14-15 seemed like, oh, that's kind of high.
Yeah.
And then if something old, like, $40 was like a lot. That's for like a rare thing. And then, if it was something super rare, like a tiki bob from San Francisco, it was maybe like $100. Today, that market is totally changed. And there are a lot of artists selling new mugs, into the $100, $120 range. Most of the mugs at Galaxy's Edge, I think, are into the 40s.
Yeah.
Same thing with Trader Sam's. It's like by the time you walk out of there, especially in California, it's like, ooh. But I love taking something home from a tiki bar that I visited as a memento of being there. When I was younger, when it was new, I used to go around and, I would buy stuff on eBay. But now I have a decent collection. It's like I really do like to focus on places that I've been. And it really does become a memento of you going there and participating. So bringing home a piece of it when you've experienced it, to me is a lot more powerful. And then you can look at that object, on display. Go like, oh God, I remember when we went there and how fun it was, and I was with so and so, and it was a great time. So
yeah,
I always pick one. You don't have to break the bank, but maybe pick one to bring home when you go.
Do you
Oh,
have a favorite Trader Sam's mug?
I do, and unfortunately, it's not from Florida, which I don't know if that makes me a bad guy or not. I love, just personally, I love rum barrel mugs. Which is not super tiki, but there's just something about the mug that I really. So I love the Trader Sam's Shipwreck on the Rocks barrel mug.
Like this one? Is that?
Yeah, that's it.
Oh,
that
cool.
is it exactly.
I think we may have got that for you actually, because we were in, or I don't know, we sent you one. I thought. I don't remember. Yeah, we got a few of those too. Those are really nice. Yeah, like this is like the Polynesian Village Resort.
Yeah.
In here.
Really those cool. Are good. The Krakatoa mug, I think, is really nice too from there. Wow. Yeah, there's that one.
Yeah.
There's Krakatoa. That's nice with the lava. I really like it. And that's one of those ones where the glow cube inside of it just turned on red. Really does make a nice part of the presentation.
That's cool.
So yeah, they do have some very nice mugs there. Thank goodness. and my Holy Grail mug is from the Polynesian. I still haven't bought one yet. There's this Polynesian lidded mug from the 80s that now usually sells for about $225 on eBay.
Wow.
Yeah, it's again, the prices have escalated like very heavily in the last couple of years. So, but Disney makes great mugs. Even I think whenever they do like a Tiki Room anniversary, there's some beautiful Tiki Room mugs that they come out with.
That's cool.
Do a lot with the Channing poles and things. Yeah, there's Kevin Kidney and Jody Daly have a. Oh, there's a nice one. I think that's the Oa, right?
Yeah, that's that big one that everyone can drink out of.
Yeah,
which is great for the times we live in now.
That's right.
Yeah. All drink together.
I really wanted the Haunted Mansion Tiki one that they had, but I wasn't there, so I wasn't able to get it.
Yeah, the Hatbox Ghost ones were nice. And there was one the year before.
Cool.
Was it? I think.
Well, I know you're holding ice in your hand, so I don't want you to get your hands frozen there.
All right, we're just gonna add some ice into here, and this ice is really just to mix up the drink. We're gonna pour.
Sorry. So, my wife had put ice in this little cup, and it all froze together. So now there's a huge chunk of ice.
Well, that's okay for this one, fortunately, because we're just using this to make the drink cold.
There we go.
So, I have a Boston shaker, but all the shakers that you guys have are fine. If you just have to take 2 glasses, whatever you need to use, use it, because it all works the same. So, we're just doing this.
Yeah, this is some good noise.
Yeah, the podcast is going to love this.
All we're doing is we're just making everything that was warm cold. And if you're using a metal shaker, you'll actually feel your hand get cold as the metal gets cold, and then you're like, ooh, That worked. It actually did something.
Yep, I feel it.
Nice milk.
So, so next up, we're going to take some ice and we're going to fill up the actual thing that you're going to drink out of with some different ice. Now, the two ice thing used to confuse the daylights out of me. It's like, well, I already have ice in here. Why am I doing more ice in here? And in this glass, in this case, it's really just you want to control how much ice is going to be in the final drink. So if you put some ice in there and then you poured a bunch of stuff with other ice, you may overfill the drink or not have enough. So it's better to just have another thing of ice in there for starters. So that way, when you pour in the liquid, you kind of get an expected amount. All right.
Use my baby Groot one.
Yeah, I don't have a tiki mug, so I've got this little.
I've got this
That's
thing.
all good. That's all good. All right, so we got our
Moscow Mule
ice
thing.
in our cup, and I'm using a what is that one? Oh God, I can't remember his name. I'm such a terrible Star Wars fan.
Is it a
right now.
taunt? Oh no, it's the
Right?
Yeah, I know. It's not the Rancor.
No, I know this.
Wampa.
Oh,
Wampa.
Okay.
It's the Yeti guy.
Yeah. All right. So
I'm horrible.
we're just gonna take this, pour that right in, fill that up as high as you like. It's got some bubbles. Oh, actually, we need a little bit of extra room in there because I forgot. We have to add our ginger ale in there. So
Yeah, this was interesting to me when
I'm just gonna take it off of it.
the ginger ale was an interesting little add-in that when I saw the thing, I was like, oh, that's interesting.
So that's pretty good on its own. So the final bit is to take an ounce of ginger ale, and then you're just gonna kind of pour that very lightly on the top.
Well, I'm just gonna guess because I just got a can, so we'll just guess. Oh no,
No guessing.
I don't have anything to. Wait, I could pour it in one of these. I got baby bottles sitting here. What am I thinking?
Yeah.
Measure this out.
So Winchester gave us a tip on the YouTube feed. It says if you go to Oga's, make sure to ask for extra coasters while you're there. It's a free souvenir. So yeah, that's something I see a lot of people take are the coasters. So good to know you can ask for them though. I didn't realize that for extras.
Yeah, you can ask for them. Sometimes, I mean, you shouldn't, but you can ask for the menus, I think. So make sure you give your baby at least 1 ounce of ginger ale.
So what the ginger ale on top does, it's kind of like an aromatic in some ways. As you go and take the drink, it's like you're going to get a hint of ginger in there along with the rest of the ingredients. So you get this really interesting combination of ginger, coconut, the hibiscus in the grenadine, and then the orange juice and the pineapple just kind of blend together into one flavor. But you should I think taste at least 3 separate flavors as you drink this.
Yeah.
That makes it really neat.
For the podcasters, drinking it.
I always think of drinks like music. So some drinks have like a middle, a soprano, and a bass.
Yeah.
The ginger ale in this gives a little soprano. Most drinks are just kind of all mid-range.
Yeah.
Use like a dark rum or some other things can throw in some of the bass tones, but I always think it's more interesting when a drink is a little multi-level like this. So this is neat because it's got some highs and it's got some mids, so it's got a little complexity to it.
And for those that don't like coconut, because I didn't have it, I tried to get it.
Good.
It's still good.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So if somebody wanted to make this an adult version of a Cliff Dweller, what would they add to this?
So I was thinking about this last, and I think with this particular combination of flavors, especially with the hibiscus and the ginger, I think I would add an ounce of gin. because gin has typically more of a botanical flavor. As they say, it's planty and flowery. I think if you used any kind of dark rum, it would probably start to work against the flavor that's in there, especially with the ginger. Yesterday, I did try some with like an ounce of light rum, and I found out that I needed to add like another ounce of ginger ale in to try to get that flavor component back. So you can do that, but I think with gin, this would actually be a really nice little summer sipper if you wanted to do that. The one thing I will warn about this drink overall is, it's 7 ounces of juice plus plus ginger ale plus cream of coconut. So from a sugar perspective, you have blown your entire day's USDA daily recommendation of sugar, like right here. So
I'm drinking 3 of these then.
But if you're in the park, it gives you the energy to go. Just go.
Right. Get back to park.
Perfect park drink. So do you have a? This is excellent. I love it. Yeah, I can tell I'm going to be on a sugar high for the rest of the day, and then I'm just going to crash. I'm just going to crash all of a sudden.
Mm-hmm.
Well, this is when you need a Ronto wrap to help balance things.
Yes. Did you get to eat a Ronto wrap while you were there?
I did. I did get to eat a Ronto wrap.
They're so good.
They are. I like the slaw. And it's a really good quality, sausage or hot dog or whatever. Yeah. I was really impressed by the quality of the meat.
Yeah, I was a little skeptical when I first saw it, and then I had one. And I'm like, this is amazing because you got not only you have the sausage thing, but then it's wrapped in like sliced pork.
Yeah,
and it's got the slaw on it, and there's like pita. It's so good. Now I want one. I need one right now.
The first time I saw that they were having hot dog tacos, I was like, I don't know. But then turned out it was delicious. So never be a skeptic.
We just had a viewer just come on, and she's like, "What is happening? We're making Galaxy's Edge drinks right now." So we're having a party. It's just,
I'm on set today.
Yeah.
Went down to the studio. I'm the only one here.
What is your? Do you have a favorite ride at Disney?
Oh my gosh, they're all my favorite. I mean, I think I still have to go for Haunted Mansion. That's still my go-to classic. Just the odd way that it was born, plus all the people that worked on it. It was a who's who of everyone. Rolly Crump and Mark Davis and all the folks. Even Dorothea Redmond, and there were just a ton of people involved at different parts of that, and to me, just really fascinating the way that all came together.
Yeah.
Paul's death and a lot of infighting among the Imagineers. What do we do? And Claude Coates wants to make it, more serious, and Mark Davis wants to make it more scary, and Rolly Crump is just kind of stuck in a corner working on the Museum of the Weird.
Yes.
Go together. The other designers below them take all of his stuff and integrate it throughout the mansion in very subtle ways with the wallpaper and the hidden faces over the doors, which you didn't know was happening. It's like he only found out after it was put together that they had used any of the stuff he did because he didn't think they were going to use any of it. So the thing is, it all came together, and it's just so cool and atmospheric and neat, and that's still going to be. I think it's going to be hard to blow that away as one of my favorite.
Yeah, definitely. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's my top. I think my favorite ride we talk about on here all the time is Big Thunder Mountain, but Haunted Mansion is like close behind. I love Haunted Mansion so much. I built the mansion at Disney World out of paper. It's up here. You can't see it. It's like a paper craft that somebody did. So I built it, and then I got all the Haunted Mansion Funko Pops. And so that's my Halloween decoration over, our sort of like shelf by our TV. It's just nice. The Haunted Mansion with all the Funko Pops that are themed to them. The gate is made out of paper, and then it has the mansion that sits up on the hill. And I just found out they're coming out with more Funko Pops based on the Haunted Mansion. So I may have already pre-ordered them.
Ryan,
I know.
do we need to have an intervention?
Yes, we need to have an intervention. But they're decorations for Halloween. It's like tiki mugs for me. These creepy little dolls. I don't know.
Yeah, we'll go with that.
We'll go with that. But,
well, I think everybody finds something that calls to them from the collector point of view. Yeah. Like when I started, I think half of the reason I ended up on the tiki stuff is I had like 300 mansion things and 2 tiki room things and 4 of those and 6 of these. And then at one point I was like, okay, I just have too much stuff spread. I need to consolidate.
Yeah.
What's been fun about the mugs are things like, oh, well, there's Haunted Mansion mugs.
Yeah.
So I get to slide those into the collection. And then there were Star Wars mugs. Like, oh, I get to have a little of my Star Wars love in there too. But it all fits.
It all fits. Yeah.
Tiki's nice because it's been fortunately kind of broad over the years and broadened more. So
yeah. And you played in a tiki band at one time.
Right? I did. I'm in a band called the Crazed Mugs.
Oh.
We hiatus for a while, but I replaced one of their players who unfortunately passed away of cancer. And did an album with them. You can find a lot of our songs on YouTube, and we're on Spotify and Apple Music. And yeah, we just went from the perspective of we like the old Hapahale songs, the stuff that was done in the 40s and 50s, which is the sort of like half Hawaiian and English. And so we take some of our songs from that perspective. And some of the stuff is more modern. I like surf rock, so I wrote a straight up surf tune. About surfing on Lake Erie because I had no idea that people did that, but people do that. People actually surf on the Great Lakes because there are big enough waves to do that. So that blew me away. So we have songs about that. We have some songs we wrote about the Maikai. My writing partner Paul, he wrote and sang a beautiful song about the Forbidden Island bar in Alameda, California, and then another one about Smuggler's Cove in San Francisco. And he's really good. The way he writes stuff is like, I just write stuff direct. He layers everything in metaphor. So like he's writing about Smuggler's Cove, and yeah, it's the bar, but it's not like about the bar. It's about this Smuggler's Cove place, but it's really about the bar. So and it's just, his songs are beautiful. He says I'm the hit maker. He's the deep cut guy, and he has a gorgeous voice. So come check us out. Always good for putting on some music in the background when you're making these drinks.
So I know you probably haven't lately because of everything going on, but do you guys have a regular place where you go play?
We don't. That's we end up doing a lot of festivals and a lot of tiki events because it's still a really small community. And in California, there's a ton of places where people get together, on a regular basis. And in Florida, it's really not so much that case. It's real legitimate tiki bars are still very hard to find here. We have the Maikai down in Fort Lauderdale, where we've played a number of times, and that place is incredible. It is built in 1954. It is one of the last Polynesian palaces that exists in the United States. And if you guys have any passing interest at all in tiki, if you ever get down to the Miami-Fort Lauderdale area, you have to go and see this. It's more Polynesian than the Polynesian Resort at Disney. They still do a live luau, like with performers every night, with fire knife dances and a dance from each of the islands with an announcer, and they have this beautiful food that's cooked in a Chinese oven, which is sort of like a smoker, but the smoke it's more of the indirect heat rather than the smoke that cooks the food, and it's fantastic. And they have 70 drinks on their menu, all top flight, great stuff. That is a place that I highly recommend anybody who visits that's even mildly interested in the tiki culture, because it is largely stayed exactly as it was when they built it in 1955. It is just this amazing, walking into a page out of history. So
that's cool.
Great. But we don't have a lot of spots here, so we have to know where people get together, and we're talking about getting together again and seeing what we can do, either remotely or what we can do in person and then broadcast, because that seems to be the way to get to people now. It's that's I think going forward, that's probably how a lot of musicians are going to play and get the word out. So
yeah. Yeah, I've always wanted to. If I ever, I've only like flown into California and then like at like LA and then flown out to Hawaii. Um, but I like to go there and go to the Tiki Marketplace.
Oh yeah.
I'd love to go there. This looks fascinating because they made a lot of stuff for Disney. This Disney's used for their like the Polynesian and for Treasure
Yes.
Sands, I think. It just I follow a guy named Justin Scard on YouTube, and he does a lot of the tiki stuff. Like he'll go to those places. There's a famous tiki bar that I think recently closed down. That he was there for like the last night. And the videos was just fun because he has a friend that has a tiki band out there. But yeah, the Tiki Marketplace looks really fun and cool.
You got Oceanic Arts in Whittier,
Yes.
California. Those two guys, Leroy and I can't remember the other guy's name. Like they did half of this. Like they did the old Polynesian Resort sign. They did a bunch of the tikis that are in the Polynesian Resort and all the old carved signs. Bob and Leroy, and just like everything in every bar.
Yeah.
It's everywhere. Phenomenal. San Diego has a bunch of great places to go in the Half Moon Bay area. Lots of old great restaurants and places to visit there. In Hawaii, if you get to Oahu, there are very few of the old places left, but there's one place called the La Mariana Sailing Club that basically got all of the tiki stuff as every other place closed down.
Oh, wow.
So that place is dripping in Witco and old tiki, and like the drinks aren't phenomenal, but it's a very family friendly, family oriented atmosphere. The food is, it's decent bar food. Burgers, dogs, fish. Definitely a must see. And they have beautiful stuff for sale in the gift shop too from some artists. So that's definitely, if you're going to Oahu and Hawaii, that's definitely a place to go.
Oh, cool. Trying to think. You guys have any questions before we move on?
I was told today there's two different ways to pronounce ukulele.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Ukulele.
Yeah.
Ukulele.
Ukulele would be so in Hawaiian, every vowel is pronounced individually. So if you have a vowel, then a consonant vowel, and then another vowel, that's basically 3 syllables. So where we would just run through and say ukulele, that would be ukulele, would be the correct way to pronounce it in Hawaiian. So it's ukulele.
Ukulele.
Yeah, if you go to Hawaii, you find out real fast that's how you're supposed to pronounce it. Because my wife wanted one while we were out there, and they're like, "Oh, you mean ukulele?" And we're like, "Oh yeah. Of course, we knew that.
I was just testing you.
Yes." So yeah, they pronounce.
Yeah, and there's 4 sizes of ukulele if you're interested. There's a soprano, which is a very small one. Then there's an alto, which is medium, and then there's tenor, which tends to be like the size that's played probably by most people in modern bands, because it's got a little bit more. As you go bigger, it's like the sound kind of changes. It has a little bit more. And then there's a baritone, which is actually strung like the top 4 strings of guitar, for a little bit more bass. But you never really get the bass out of it like you do with a 6-string guitar, because you don't get the low part of that. So that's why you see in a lot of bands they'll have a guitar player along with a ukulele player to kind of make the sound a little bit more richer.
Yeah, I should have brought mine's upstairs. So I should have brought it down because we did buy one. It's even got the hookup and input, so we can.
Nice.
Yeah, we played in a band for a long time, so we like to get all kinds of instruments involved. And if we didn't know, like I started learning the mandolin because like let's do a song with the mandolin, so I just learned the mandolin. So we loved all the different cool instruments that we could get our hands on and play around with.
Yeah, I think ukulele is neat too, because even though it's got 4 strings, because the fingering is a little different, it's really easy to do more jazz sounding chords, like with 0. So I played guitar for a long time, but I stink. I'm like middle line mediocre guitar player. But being able to just drop a pinky finger down on a string and all of a sudden you're like, whoa, I just really fancy sound. It's fun to do stuff on ukulele because you can just, oh, let me just try moving a finger up or down here or there, and all of a sudden you're like, oh, listen to this voicing I'm doing. I could never do that in a guitar, but like that sounds wicked. So half the time I don't even use straight up chords. I just find something and like jot it down.
Yeah.
And later on, a real musician we have like two really solid music theory type musicians in our band. TJ, who plays steel guitar and bass, and then Josh, who's our guitar player. And we'll be doing a song, we're going through practices and stuff. And it's like, oh, I liked how you went from like the augmented third to the such and such a thing there. And I'm like, yes, exactly what I meant to do. Mm-hmm. That's it, except totally.
Yeah, that would be my wife. She would do all that. I'd be like, oh, I just thought I was playing a G chord. I don't know.
Yep.
So to bring it back around to Disney, because I don't think I asked this yet, do you have a favorite drink on property at Disney World?
Ooh.
That's a hard one because I know there's a lot to pick from.
For years, I loved the Lapu Lapu at the Polynesian, but I got surprised when I went to Jock Lindsay's at Disney Springs. And there is a drink there called the Scottish Professor, which uses, I think, 3 kinds of scotch.
Wow.
Lemon. And I am not a scotch drinker by any stretch of the imagination. Every time I have it, to me, it's just like drinking medicine. I just haven't, but that drink with the lemon, and there's something about it that just works really well. So that's probably my favorite on Disney property right now.
Oh.
Lapu Lapu is still a classic though.
Yeah.
And hard to beat that.
So the scotch, let me write it down. What was it called?
Oh, it's called the Scottish Professor. So the drinks at Jock Lindsay are all Indiana Jones themed.
Yeah.
So that's supposed to be for his dad, I think. That's just.
Yeah, one of our listeners, and he's been on many times, and he's a good friend of ours, Tyler Dean McDowell. I think he's on here right now. He loves Jock Lindsay's he's a big Indiana Jones fan, so he loves going there. He also said that he's a big Haunted Mansion fan too. So yeah, he'd probably fit right in with you. You guys would.
They call it the Scottish Professor because if you drink one, your kind of words slur together, and you think you know more than everybody else in the room.
Wow. We just lost all of our.
Oh, you're something else.
This is great. I love it.
Yeah.
Nice.
Let's go find the Grail.
Oh man. So I would guess that would Trader Sam's be your favorite place to go hang out, or is there another bar there at Disney that you would prefer?
It is. I'll tell you, I love Trader Sam's. Now, for me, I like hanging out on the porch.
Yeah.
In Florida. A little bit more on the inside. Now, don't get me wrong. The inside is fun. It's got a lot of activity. Every time someone orders a drink, they set off different. But like, I can only take so much of that, and before it becomes sensory overload. So give me like a half hour inside, and I'm good. I've seen enough. I love the chill on a nice, cooler day. I love just the relaxed atmosphere on the porch at Trader Sam's. They usually have someone playing ukulele and singing outside. There's a beautiful waterfall kind of thing that's lit with some blue lights. That's nice to look at. You can look over the Seven Seas Lagoon and watch the traffic going by, and it's like, it's very nice and relaxing there. Trying to think. I also did just recently finally go to the at Animal Kingdom over by the new restaurant that they opened up.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
For heaven's sakes, I can't believe I can't remember the name of it now. It's the one where the theme is like everyone's traveling and they come back and they leave bits and pieces of where they went.
Yeah, I know exactly. It's by Tiffin's, right?
Yes, it is by Tiffin's. That's the one. I can't remember the name, but that was very nice. I thought they had very lovely drinks on the menu, and again, more of a chill, relaxing atmosphere there.
Yeah.
especially when you've been out. We waited in line. We waited in line for like 3 hours to go ride Flight of Passage.
Oh.
So after we had done that, we were out baking in the sun. We were like, we need a place to just kind of relax and get into some AC for a while, and that more than fit the bill.
Cool. Nomad Lounge. Tyler just told us.
Thank you.
There we go.
He also asked. He wanted me to ask you. You're getting like watch questions from our YouTube. You're a big deal now, because we have to pull teeth to get people to ask questions. So they're into this. He asked, which do you prefer, the Enchanted Tiki Bar or the Grotto? Which Sam?
Oh,
Ooh.
boy, again, I feel like I'm going to be in trouble here.
No judgment.
I would like to compare Disneyland's Enchanted Tiki Bar a little bit better than the Grotto. I do. Even though I'm a Florida boy, I like the intimacy a little bit more. I like the setup a little bit more. It's like, which one of your kids do you like the most? I did enjoy the one time I got to visit Disneyland. I did enjoy that a little bit more. I just felt, I think, that more like you were integrated into it. Everything's a lot closer. The bar sticks out and everybody's surrounding it, and they've got the tiki poles there, where a lot of the stuff in the Florida one, it's just a straight flat bar, and a lot of the stuff is behind you, and so I think I'd like Disneyland's a little bit better.
Well, it was the original one, so
yeah. And I didn't get to try it, but I understand they have very nice off-menu items as well, like a classic baby grog and some other drinks. So they have a little bit more flexibility in what they can make in California than what they can do in Florida.
Yeah. I haven't got to go to the one in California. I haven't been to Disneyland, so hopefully one day, fingers crossed, if the world will let me. I do love like you were saying, I love sitting outside at the one in Florida, and I get the pork tacos.
Oh yeah.
Oh, they're so good.
Yeah, the food there is really nice. That's true. I did get a chance to try any of the food at this. I can't remember. No, I think we ordered a couple of things at Disneyland, maybe some pork rolls or something. But yeah, it's so, again, on a cool night.
Yeah, on a cool night.
On a 90-degree night with like 95% humidity, not so much. But when the atmosphere is correct in Florida, it's just gorgeous.
Yeah, in the wintertime, the couple of weeks of winter because I lived in Florida for like 10 years, so I know what you're talking about. It's few and far between to get those cool nights, but when you do, it's magical.
It is. It's very much.
Well, I don't know if there's any other questions on the live stream, or if you guys have any more questions. We're getting to the hour mark, so I wanted to make sure.
Drinking.
You just drinking?
Yeah, it's really good.
I've about finished mine, which is a bad thing.
Yeah, it is. I'm wired for sound now.
Yeah. This live stream is going to be 6 hours long because we're just not going to stop. So Tyler was joking, but he said when you said that you liked the Disneyland better, he said traitor, but he was just joking. He was just laughing. Well, cool. Well, thank you for coming on and spending some time with us. So do you have more episodes planned on coming out with more episodes for your YouTube channel?
Yes, absolutely. Next week we're gonna do a little wandering through our pineapple coconut kind of flavor profile. So we did the Monorail Yellow to set everyone up. Now we're gonna add another layer next week, and we're gonna make the painkiller, which is the Tiki rum. And then some guys turn me on to this. It's like we're gonna do this as the next one. So we're gonna do these. Like, oh, well, what happens when you take away this ingredient? What happens when you put it? So we're going to build a little knowledge about
awesome.
layering and different flavors, and what happens when you add and subtract things from tiki drinks, because that is part of the whole thing. It's a little bit like Taco Bell. I mean, the joke is like, Taco Bell has the same ingredients and they just put them in a different order.
Yeah.
With like, all that thing. Well, that's true of a lot of tiki drinks. It's like you substitute dark rum for light rum, or you substitute this ingredient for that ingredient, and then all of a sudden the flavor shifts. So it's kind of neat to think about and consider, like, oh, okay, this drink is really that drink, but they added this thing and it changed the flavor. Well, now what happens if I add this thing to it? And that's where the mixology, the art of that comes into. Is when I get introduced to a new ingredient, I like to just drink it straight. Someone's like, "Oh, here, try this syrup." I'm like, "Well, the first thing I want to do is just put it in my mouth and see what it tastes like, and learn. What is this?" And then you can start to think about once you've done this enough, you can like, "Oh, well, that would be great with pineapple juice," or like, "Oh, what if I added this to it? I bet that would work." And sometimes it works out, sometimes it's awful, but dump that out. Or drink it and deal with it, and you learn, and that's what we're going to do with the next few episodes is work people through this. So we'll do the Tiki rum, we'll do the Cliff Dweller here, and then I think we're going to start moving into like the Dark and Stormy and start to get into dark rums and ginger beers, and this is a great launching point to that too. So I want to thank you for helping me arrive at doing the Cliff Dweller. I don't know how I keep saying that. But hello.
Hello. Well, I've definitely learned something today now that tiki drinks are basically a liquid Taco Bell. So that's what I'm taking away.
Yeah. So yes, definitely more episodes will be hitting you soon.
Cool. Well, hopefully you can, fingers crossed, get you some of those buzz buttons, and you can try some of the mouth numbing things.
We will. Now I looked into the other ingredients in that drink, and I think everything else. I think I can get everything else, and I think there's a sequence that I can put that in where that'll make sense. So yeah, we'll work on that. And then once I can figure out how to do the bubbles, that'll be a good one.
Very cool. Well, thank you for joining us.
So tell everybody where they can find you though on that channel.
Oh yeah, so on YouTube you can find me at Liquid Luau, and we're just getting ready to launch the liquidluau.com, so you can hit the recipes up there and find them without having to go copy them down from YouTube. If you're interested in old Walt Disney World, you can check out the Retro WDW podcast, where all podcasts are found, and you can go to retrowdwdw.com. We have links to all of our podcasts, and the other thing that we do there is we restore 16 millimeter and 8 millimeter home videos.
Oh wow!
We clean them up, restore them. In some cases, run them through AI processors to bring the resolution up. Yeah. So we have a bunch of things there, old Walt Disney World stuff that was shot in the 70s, like you have never seen before. And then I was also a fairly lonely idiot in the 1990s, so I went and shot literally hours and hours of videotape of Walt Disney World, Epcot. So we just did a big AI digital stabilization cleanup of Horizons.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
Really fun to look at. And we're even working on a 3D version of that to release because Todd, who is the guy that does all the cleanup stuff, worked with one of our volunteers, Jim, and they figured out, this is just genius. The math here blows them away. Since that ride was moving in a linear fashion, just down track, it figured, if we did the left eye normal, and then we delay the right eye by the amount of time that it would take for the track to move to where your right eye would be, we could convert this to 3D. So we went to the documentation and we found the actual speed that the cars traveled, and they are able to subtract that. And sure enough, when you offset it by that time and put on like an Oculus Rift, the damn thing is in 3D. So
wow,
that's awesome.
Amazing when that comes out, because it's literally like you're sitting there.
That's cool.
That's called, again for our listeners, that is called
it's retrowdwdw.com.
That is, I'm definitely checking that out.
Yeah, I think I've seen some of your stuff before actually, so that's cool. Look
at you. You do more than drinks, you do more than tiki, you do it all. Yeah. You do it all. So that podcast, how often is that, like a weekly podcast or?
We're monthly. Because it takes a lot of research we do very deep dives into each one of them. So we typically spend about a week to a week and a half of just doing research. Sometimes it's going into books. Sometimes it's talking to the Imagineers that worked on things. So we've been lucky to build some relationships with folks like Raleigh Crump. We flew out to California and interviewed him for a day and took copious notes, disseminated all this information. So yeah. And we've been able to do a few interviews too with all kinds of interesting people that either were Imagineers or worked there in operations or did. So yeah, go check it out. There's about 5 years worth of stuff that if you're really into it, you can catch up on and enjoy.
That's so cool. I'm definitely
Very
checking it out because
Yeah.
this is the cool thing about podcasting. We had another guest on who I found on Instagram and YouTube, and they were cosplayers. Like they did like Star Wars things and Disney things, and they went to the parks. So like, hey, let's have them on for cosplay, and we get him on here, and he starts talking about his real job, and he designed like the movie posters for like Star Wars and the Marvel movies and stuff. I'm like, what? I'm like, why are we talking about cosplay? We can talk about this. So it's amazing that we had you on to make tiki drinks, which was excellent. And then we find out that you're not just a tiki guy. You like deep dive into retro Disney World and are making a 3D version of Horizons. This is amazing. This is so cool. Now I just want to talk about that for forever, but we can't do that. Maybe we can have maybe some of you and your friends back on, and we could go retro Disney because that would be awesome. But yeah, cool. I'm looking forward to checking out retro WW because that's right up my alley. I love the old school Disney. I'm 42, so I've been going to Disney World since a kid, so not too long, but I remember all the old. I still remember Horizons and everything, so it's really cool.
Tyler says Rolly is one of his heroes.
Oh. As well as should be.
Yeah.
Still, he's 92, I think, this year, and still right there. Can recall everything. We got amazing stories. Some things that we can't even talk about. I mean, there are literally some stories that I don't think we can share until he's passed and other people are passed, because he was very open and real with us. And we learned some stuff like, well, that's going to go in the vault because we can't talk about that yet. But yeah, phenomenal guy. What an amazing artist. So humble. I feel like I learned so much from him just in even more so in the time we were able to spend with him. That was one of the neatest experiences that I think I'll ever have.
That's so cool. Very cool. Are you on? I don't know if you mentioned. Are you on Instagram or anything?
I am. You can follow me personally on Instagram and on Twitter as Go Away Green, like the Disney color that you're not supposed to see.
Scram color.
So yes, you can also find me there.
Cool. Very cool. Well, my drink is done, so I guess that means the time is up.
Time to make more.
Yeah. I'm just gonna go run around the neighborhood like 6 miles or something to get the sugar out of me. But thank you again, Hal, for coming on. Thank you to Jenny for hooking us up with this, Chris. This has been fun. I've loved it. It's been the perfect episode for 150. So here's to I guess 150 more and on. And then maybe in the fall we'll run across you at Disney World when we're down there. Maybe it'll happen.
Give me a shout out when you're coming.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. Cool. All right. Well, thank you for joining us, Hal. And you are welcome back anytime to make drinks or just have fun with us.
Well, thank you.
This has been episode 150 of I Am Geek, and we will talk with you next week.